Good morning. Or whatever time it is where you are. Here it's Monday morning and it's raining and raining and raining. So as you see, I've got some lines in. Some lines are kind of misleading. Some lines will be extended, some lines will be diverted, some lines will be done away with. But they're, a series of suggestions on the canvas, and that's what we're going to play with. And I'm going to close my window because we have a steady stream of traffic on this country road that's supposed to be quiet. I'll close it for the length of the video anyway. Otherwise, I don't like my windows closed at all. So we're using some raw umber, ultramarine blue and cobalt blue to get our shapes in here. I might be starting a little bit on the light side, actually, but we'll see. Maybe my values are a tad high, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Putting a few minor irregularities in this rock face for the sake of interest as we go. But a lot of vertical strokes. Which I think, if you're talking about just brushstroke direction, when you have sort of a wall this large, I don't want my strokes all over the place direction-wise. I kind of like to have a general theme going on. Now that's just stroke direction, right? That's just one little thing, not the most important thing either, but pay attention to those little things. It pays off in the long run. I'm using a number 8 brush. Normally I would have washed these these stones in this boulder face, this bedrock area, with raw umber. Made it very dark. I'm not doing so because I'd like the whole painting to be a little bit lighter than sometimes I make it, and we'll see how this helps. I might end up being too light. We'll see. That's being too light right away is often my enemy. That's certainly a thing that I do sometimes. It's a bit mistaken. Yes, I can correct it by laying dark paint over the light, but again, if you can economize your strokes, the more painterly the painting will look. And and you won't have wasted your time doing it twice. Not that that matters very much. I mean, it's not exactly a production line. Oop, jump there. Oop, okay. You cover ground so quickly doing this. I enjoy this part of the painting quite a bit. And the fact that it's painting designs in rocks, I don't know, there's something about that. I mean, it's easier if you use a photograph to copy from. But when you're making it up as you go, yeah, you gotta think a little harder. Oh yeah, by the way, this is not the scene that I had in mind that I was speaking about. What I was thinking was it's an area on the backside of De Courcy Island that has not really a cave, but sort of an indentation, an undercut, fairly high up the wall, and interesting striations and cleavage around it. Once I got drawing on this, I got lazy about looking for the photograph. I have a number of photographs. I didn't even bother looking. I just started to draw. I was having too much fun. So this is what we end up with. And I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that at all. I don't want to end up with an entirely bluish looking face here. Well, okay, the bulk of it, the mother color, so to speak, will be bluish gray, but I'd like to change things up a little bit. But from here down to these rocks, we're going to stick with a muted, toned down. Okay, that's fine. Bit of a vein of what's the word I'm looking for? Tellurides. Decomposing minerals trapped, sandwiched between the larger rock masses. So we try to portray that as well. Okay. So far so good, I think. Heading in the right direction still. We'll go... you know what? Let's do this. Our highlighting will be taking place in here a little bit and working our way up. This band of rock will be a little more colorful. This band of rock may go. It's one of those things that certainly going to shorten it, you know. Maybe it'll only come to here. It'll take a slightly different form. This is a bit of a questionable area in here. And of course it has to be done reasonably well because it falls within our area of highest interest for the painting, really. Okay. One thing we do have is lots of room to play our value cards. Because this isn't going to be alla prima. So I don't mind starting a little lower values and then we'll work our way up as the painting progresses. It's a little high in value. I'm trying to be slightly higher in value than the stain, but not so much that I don't leave any room for the in-between values. Not a lot of talking this morning. I don't have much to say really. I can always think of a story to tell you, but then I'm focusing on the story. And all my focus should be on my job, so that's what we're going to do. Just stick with that. Certainly on these rocky structures, I do tend to be more quiet. I'm sure you can understand. I'm sure you can empathize. Hmm. Not too worried about too many vertical strokes with the brush right now. Not up here, mostly down here. Going towards a little more raw umber now, and even venturing into a hint of yellow ochre. Beginning to warm this bit of structure here. Warming it up a little. Gently. I will be laying strokes over some of the strokes that I've got in here, but even now, just in this area, you can see it warming up slightly, just a bit. Staying away from the cobalt blue, only using the ultramarine blue. Heavier into the raw umber. Hint of yellow ochre. I'm not fond of this. That's okay. That's okay. That'll get some changes here. not yet. Okay, I want to tilt my painting this way a little bit. Otherwise I have to stick my head in between the camera and my efforts. And that blocks your view. We don't want that. The reason I'm not finishing things up as I go on this painting is simply because it's a large painting, a larger painting. I want to cover a mass of area and then revisit it, move on to another mass, and then revisit that, finish it, one thing at a time, sort of thing. Okay, I think we can go back to some. Horizontal strokes, and I think we can go back to a little bit of a bluer mixture as we approach this left-hand side of the painting. And let's thin that line down. A little high on the value. A little bit. I gotta stand up. I'm looking up instead of across. I don't like looking up at the painting because I can't see anything. just too much glare from the light above me. And that's a sure recipe for failure. Uh, um, 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 um. Yeah. Okay. I'll leave that for the moment. Okay. Back to the chair. This one, this one, this one, this one. I don't like this. Okay. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to sit back and take a few minutes, sit back in my chair 10-15 feet away, and consider what I'm going to do next. What I will do is square off the camera so that you can see a little more clearly, or a little more proportionately what's going on here. Yeah, you know, there is still too much of this. Like, that's not the sound it makes, but it may as well be. You know, there's not enough variety here. We've got too many clumps that are sort of similar in size, shape. That'll change, but that's okay. We're just concerned with step one at the moment. I'll just zoom in a second here so you can see. You can probably see a lot of the tint is showing through in places. Not to mention the cracks where the mineralization of the rock is going to take place, or has been taking place. Bit of shade behind that bit of that driftwood log that got itself jammed up in there. It's no light, no bright light shining in there. You know, just trying to be imaginative with the shapes and cracks of the natural rock. Okay. I think that's an okay start. See you soon.